Today's notes are on photosynthesis. Here we have a picture of photosynthesis, and what I'd like you to do in your notes is to describe what's going on in this picture in your own words. Whenever we see pictures with arrows, typically we're looking for you to follow those arrows. Try and find the start, what's happening. So if we have a plant here. One arrow that's pointing in is energy, so plants need sunlight. They also need carbon dioxide, and they need water, which is entered through the roots. Photosynthesis happens in plants, but specifically it happens in the chlorophyll, which is in the cell organelle chloroplast. And once that happens, oxygen is released into the air and glucose is formed. So go ahead and describe what you see in this picture. I'd like you to answer what is needed for photosynthesis, where photosynthesis occurs, and what is created at the end of photosynthesis. The chemical equation for photosynthesis can be found here. It's 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus light energy will give us C6H12O6 plus O2. Specifically, here's your little key right here. Carbon dioxide plus water plus energy from the sun will give us glucose and oxygen. So we have three reactants, which is always on the left side of the equation, and we have two products. Again, photosynthesis happens in the cell organelle, a chloroplast. Chloroplasts are only found in plant cells, so only plants can do photosynthesis. The reactants are the materials required at the start of the reaction. So the first reactant that photosynthesis needs is CO2, carbon dioxide, which is brought in through the leaves of the plant, H2O, which is water, and that happens by water creeping up through the roots to the leaves of the plants through a process called capillary action, and light energy, which is trapped by the chloroplasts, which are the green cell organelles. Products are the materials that are created as a result of the reaction. These are the things that we find at the end of a chemical equation, what the arrows are pointing to. C6H12O6 contains stored chemical energy. C6H12O6 is glucose, which we know is sugar, and O2, which is oxygen, is released through the leaf. There are two reactions that we need to learn about in photosynthesis. The first is the light reactions. This is the first reaction in photosynthesis, and this is where light is trapped and converted into ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This reaction requires light, and therefore we call it light dependent, needs light. So the light reactions require light. The second reaction is the Calvin cycle, or sometimes referred to as light independent reaction because it does not require light. This is where carbon dioxide is added and it combines with energy from ATP and the hydrogen from water to create glucose, or that sugar. Now I'd like you to complete the summary and questions.